And finally, live from Los Angeles, you finally have a passed second stimulus check and second stimulus package. It is now passed. Congratulations to the viewers of this channel. You're on your way. In a few minutes, you will have a law for a second stimulus package. It just passed the House. It's expected to pass the Senate. There's no expected anticipated objections from the Senate, and the president has indicated he will sign the bill. By the time this recording is over, or sometime during the time of this recording, you will have a second stimulus package and a second stimulus check in your hand. Well, not tonight, but shortly thereafter. This is a special breaking news report of Purple Power Live, direct from Los Angeles. And yes, I'm wearing the purple shirt that birthed the name of this channel, followers, Purple Power, and also the shirt that birthed the name of the show, Purple Power Evenings LALATE. Thank you for joining me on a night that you can celebrate because of you, because of your hashtag campaign with me that I started, because of your pushing for months. You're finally getting at least something of what you're deserving. It is not robust enough as it should be, but it's a start. And after this, you're going to get a much bigger package in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package, a show which I debuted this afternoon on LALATE. Congratulations, and there we are as we start the evening. The second stimulus check and second stimulus package just passed the House of Representatives. It's on to the Senate. The Senate will vote on it in the next few minutes, may pass it within minutes of now, and then the president will sign it tonight. The deal provisions that I detailed earlier today on LALATE, and I'll be continuing to detail over the next 4 weeks, are now set to become a law. They are relatively complex. They are very robust. There's a lot in there that gives money to you, more than just one item. And the great news about it is that a lot of this money will be coming to you in a time in which you need the money. But it's not enough, and that's why there's a third stimulus check and a third stimulus package coming in January. It's also not enough for people who need money right now, and that's why Purple, Tate, and Purple Live every night on this channel is trying to get you state stimulus. That's state rent, state utilities, state food, and more about that in a second. Where we are tonight is the 5,000-page bill, which was debuted earlier today, is becoming law and will be law perhaps by the time of this recording. What's important to grasp is that you're responsible for getting the money, while not as robust as you would like, that you are getting. Let me recap where we were. No one was going to give you a stimulus check. Actually, no one was going to give you stimulus in the fall of November and December, until when we saw a continuing resolution, a CR, coming on the horizon. And I said, you know what? This is an opportunity to get stimulus for the viewers of this channel. Ultimately, when you look back on history, I do not believe and I do not anticipate that anyone will ever credit a YouTube channel for the credit it got or the viewers for what you did. But you were responsible for putting stimulus into the CR. It was not something that was planned to be done. It was not something that everyone anticipated to be done. But the push for hashtag CR for stimulus worked. It came from only me and only you pushing it. No one else was pushing it except me and you. A channel with 350,000 subscribers tonight. And because of you, we are here tonight with something at least in our hands. It's not as robust as we would like, but there never would have been a stimulus for this fall of December if it wasn't for me and you. Then what happened thereafter was the parties on different sides, the Republicans and Democrats, tried to put stimulus in there that wasn't going to help anyone except themselves. And so what I said, it was, hey, hashtag stimulus check or shutdown. Shut down the government unless you're going to give us a stimulus check. Along the way, we made the message very loud and clear. There has to be a stimulus check. There has to be a stimulus check. And what they did was they understood that the stimulus check has to be at play, but they tried to battle against it. And ultimately, along the way, we stayed on point We push hashtag stimulus check or shutdown day in, day at night, around the clock, while other congressional leaders fell by the wayside, or as I said, folded up like a lawn chair. And ultimately, in the end, you got a stimulus check, some of you, not as robust as you would have liked, not as inclusive as you would have liked. The eligibility is not as broad as we would have liked, but ultimately, you got stuff. We also wanted an eviction moratorium. You got that, not as we would have liked it to be written, but it is in there, and it does protect you in your home. You did get other things which we had been covering, I had been covering for every single week, every single day for months. If you recall, when I used to be outside, the last show, the 5 o'clock show every day was Rent. Rent. It's still on the promo sheet of the time schedule of the shows for this channel. Rent. I would record it every day to ensure you get rent money. And I would explain to you how you get the rent money. And every day I would go over it and we would fight for it and fight for it. It was the most unwatched show on this channel, I would joke, because no one wanted to watch about it. It was a forgotten message. Well, tonight you're getting rent assistance. You're getting rent assistance from the federal government. You're getting eviction moratorium as well. There are things that are left out. I'll be going over the details of what is left out. But ultimately, you have gotten stuff that people would not normally get. I want to take some personal messages out to you early in this recording rather than later. So here are some of my personal messages to you. One, I thank you for being strong, being informed, being very smart, and being very focused. It was very hard early on in this recording of this channel for people to even understand what FPUC was. I used to always joke because I had so much difficulty explaining what FPUC was. People thought that PUA was FPUC. Then it was very difficult to explain what even a CR was, or continuing resolution, or to explain how a bill. I had so much problems explaining that something passed on one body of Congress, it didn't mean it was anything. Or if Nancy rejected something, I explained to you that doesn't mean anything. And so it was so hard initially to get things from point A to point B, but you did an incredible job. You absolutely did an incredible job. Along the ways, I had to deal with stuff on the back end, which I never really talk about on camera. For the first time tonight, I'm going to talk about it on camera. Along the ways, I had to deal with stuff on the back end. There were some very, very bad, horrible people on the back end that would hate the way I would introduce the shows. They didn't like the theme song music. They didn't like that it had an entertainment value to it. They didn't like that I was keeping your positive spirits up. They didn't like that the word finally was in the title. They would always say there's never going to be a stimulus check. There's never going to be a penny. There's never going to be anything. There's never going to be anything. Well, tonight you lost. Tonight, all the naysayers who continually were landing themselves in the spam folder and never being posted to the channel of this, to the comments. You never saw their comments. They were always in the spam folder. Those naysayers, those negative nannies, those people who wanted to go from channel to channel and say never, 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 they got eaten alive because tonight it got passed. Tonight it will become a law in the next few hours. And tonight you won something, not as much as you wanted, but the next step is going forward. We'll remember those people. We'll remember those people that were naysayers. We'll also remember the people who didn't really help you. Along the ways, there were people who said negative things about the purple power. There are people who said that I should just read the news and zip my mouth and just read my news and roll over. If I had just read the news and just printed out the latest news report from the press, you maybe would not have had a stimulus check tonight. I singly credit the purple power for getting the stimulus check, for getting stimulus in the CR because of hashtag CR for stimulus and for stimulus check or shutdown. Had it not be for this channel to push rather than just read a script, you may have been left with nothing. As I said, the donut guy, just tell me when it's in my bank account. Ironically, that's actually one of the expressions that's blocked on this channel. If you try to post the expression, I'll wait till it's in my bank account, it will never post because ultimately you would have never gotten a stimulus check if you had sat back and wait till it got in my bank account. That donut guy a week ago would not have gotten a stimulus check because that is where we were landing. We were landing with no stimulus check. We were landing with much of nothing. And in fact, if you had gone back 2 weeks when they were debating just the CR, you would have not gotten a penny. What's important to understand is that the Purple Powers efforts are not done because come January, boy, it's going to be a lot of stuff. That's why when I debuted third stimulus check and third stimulus package today, I thought it was so important for you to understand what's not in here, what has to be in here, but's not in here, and what's coming on next. It has been a big ride, says Joanne. It has been a big ride. I also want to respond to there was some very bad stuff that circulated other places, which I never responded to. Those accounts have either been destroyed or disabled by YouTube, or those people have run for the hills because they were cowards. But there are people who said I got into that I've only covered stimulus since day one. I've not only covered stimulus since day one. I covered EIDL from day one. And guess where we're back at? We're back with EIDL. We're back with PUA. We're back with UI and FPUC, which were shows that I did on the very first days of the channel. And the importance to understand is that people need to fight for things that they are owed, and that these congressional leaders, while they pass something tonight, it's not as good as it is. Let me go over what's good in this bill, and we're now becoming law, and what is bad in it. And then I'll go over things that are coming in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. In fact, let me start with what's coming in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package, because I like to look forward rather than back. First, these are the things that are coming in the third stimulus check and the third stimulus package as represented by Joe Biden. Get ready, because there's a lot of great stuff. First, the SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, massive thing. It's the $200 a month on top of your existing benefits all the way to December 31st of next year. You don't have to do anything. It automatically appears on top of your check. It's all automatic. Second, the lifetime increase, up to 20% lifetime increase, plus the new benchmark, different than COLA, all automatic, don't have to do anything. That's the first thing that's coming in third stimulus check and third stimulus package in January. Second, the next thing is FPUC retroactive. By all accounts, Joe Biden will take this and modify it. He's going to take this law and modify it. So as you know, it's going forward currently to March 14th, to March 14th, 2021 at $300 a week. He's going to modify it and say it's going to go forward at $600 a week. And then it's going to go retroactive and pick up the retroactive and bring it up to the present. Then he may also extend the UI and PUA even further than March 14th. I think March 14th is sort of a starting date. I think he'll probably carry it to maybe late summer. Next, the rent in here, the rent will get changed. The rent stimulus is not going to be like this rent stimulus. It's presumably going to go back to how Pelosi wrote it, which is the correct way, which is a standalone federal agency. You apply to the agency, you give a copy of your lease to your lease to the agency, and you get your rent paid going forward. Next, EIDL. The remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant getting paid. The EIDL grant you never got getting paid. The escalated EIDL loan you never could get escalated, getting escalated. All those things are coming in the third stimulus check and the third stimulus package. Next, multiple stimulus checks. Hello from Santa Barbara, gorgeous place. Multiple stimulus checks. Multiple stimulus checks is the big thing that everyone's waiting for. They would continue as this pandemic continues. Later in this recording, I'm going to go over why these programs may actually continue longer because of the worrisome reports coming out of London tonight and Friday. Then what else? Well, also hazard pay. Hazard pay. The $10,000 hazard pay, if the Senate falls to the Democrats, the hazard pay would be $10,000, $13 an hour from January of this year forward into 2021, 2 months after the pandemic ends, up to $10,000, or if you made over $100,000 2019, then $5,000. What else? Boy, let me look at my notes. More money for food, more money for schools, more money for testing and tracing, um, and more money for PPP as well. Then also the Lifeline grant potentially, the CDC grant, which is a grant for essential workers as well. All these things are coming in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package as Joe Biden represents. Hazard pay for essential, as someone just said, hazard pay for who? Hazard pay for essential workers. So the essential workers who have worked during this pandemic, employed, unemployed, part-time, full-time, anything like that, is $13 an hour. This is all incredible, great news. You know, over the last few months, there have been times in which there was negativity, and the time in which there was confusion, and the time in which there was gossip. And I am glad that we have gotten to this bridge and we have passed it. And now we're on to the next package. Along the way, we will also have the issues of state stimulus. State stimulus is not going anywhere, and especially when it's private stimulus, which is why you're probably usually turning into Purple Power Live. The charities that I detail on a regular basis, like United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, and Community Action, continue to do incredible works of God by, as I drop something, as paying, thank you, Danny, for the super chat, as paying viewers rent stimulus. This is free rent. I got a wonderful comment. I think it was an email from a viewer, I believe it was Ohio, about an hour ago. It was about $3,000, I think $3,000 or $4,000. She said, "Thank you, LA, for getting me the rent stimulus. I just got approved. It was one of the ones you mentioned on camera. It's going to change my life." There are so many people whose lives are changed because of nonprofits, state stimulus, state rent stimulus, state utility stimulus, or a combo. Me, these recordings, and the incredible 15, 16 volunteers of this channel. They have gotten $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in their bank account. That is absolutely incredible, and their lives are changed from the brink of homelessness to the brink of normality till March or April. And for those charities who have paid them, thank you so much. EIDL has also been a saving grace. The people who got EIDL loans on this channel in the last few weeks are so indebted and so their lives are changed that I know the impact that EIDL had when I did it back in April and May and June of this channel, where I got viewers EIDL. I had viewers getting EIDL 24 hours before they were supposed to lay off 3 or 4 people on their entire staff who had lives and families to pay. It saved the families of their employees from keeping their homes. It kept the employees' homes, and that kept solo practitioners kept their homes over their head. And so it's important to understand that all these economic these instruments that are in these stimulus packages are so helpful. And the ability to keep people from homelessness is great. I got $350 from St. Vincent de Paul. Not much, but anything helps. Amen. St. Vincent de Paul has been a wonderful charity. St. Vincent de Paul, Catholic Charities, Community Action, and the volunteers who are in the live chats every night. I see some of them. One is in Instagram. The volunteers who take notes of who's getting paid and take notes and learn there's something else. This is what's incredible, great news. Along the way, I've had to deal with other stuff, and I've had to be me and stay as me, and ultimately, I'm my own personality. Not my personality may not fit some people, other people it does fit. But what's important to understand is I fought for your money every single step of the way. And I don't think I can say that about other people. Other people thought their purpose was to read a script and to read a script and to read a script. And if that's what they want to do in life, God bless them. But I fought for your money, and I continue to fight for your money. And that has been the difference of this channel. It's not a difference of how many cameras are on my face or how many backdrops I have. This channel has been about fighting for people's money, not reading a darn script every single day. Next, let's go back now to what's happening tonight. The stimulus package that whose bill I debuted earlier today Can you imagine? It was just like at noon. I went over the deal provisions of the 5,000-page bill earlier today. Has been passed by the House of Representatives. It is expected to pass the Senate, if not, it's already passed by the time of this recording. The Senate is voting right now. So yeah, the Senate is voting right now. It'll probably pass by the time this recording is over. And then the president will sign it tonight. You will have a law tonight. The reaction has been a confusion, because there's a mixture of anticipation and a mixture of positivity and confusion. This is what I want you to understand: is that this is some money. No voting yet in the Senate. Someone said they are voting in the Senate. It is in the Senate right now. I don't know if it is. I pressed record before it had landed in the Senate. I pressed record when it was out of the House going to the Senate, but the Senate will approve it, and the president will sign it tonight. So rather than keep you up at 12 midnight in the thick of night, I just want to tell you you're going to have a law tonight. Let me go over the provisions, since this is the night to do the provisions. A stimulus check will arrive for individuals making up to $75,000 per year of $600, for married couples who made $150,000 a year or less, and for their children, $600. Adult dependents will not get a stimulus check. A family of four will receive a single check of $2,400. The maximum size is $2,400. It will be taken out for child support. It will not be taken out for collections. The routing times of the stimulus check is 10 days after it becomes law. Tonight is law. So the 21st, you could get it on the 31st. I did not anticipate this was going to pass law when I made the recordings earlier today. I fully said I think it's going to be a few days for this. I was wrong. So it looks like you could get a check before on New Year's Eve, potentially, if you're signed up for electronic receipt. All of these items, how is the routing time for the stimulus check? How do I track it? How do I do this? I will be there for you on all these things. So please fix Mr. Oh, yeah, he fell. He fell again. Mr. Nutcracker fell again. Oh, my goodness. Understand that for any of these things, I am here. I'm going to make recordings on everything about the second stimulus check, how you get it, where do you apply, all those things. I'll be doing all those things for you. Tonight, we're just going through them all. We want t-shirts. It was we want t-shirts. Small businesses. The EIDL. You will not get anything of the great EIDL stuff I talked about earlier in this recording. That's in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. What EIDL grants are available are for low-income communities only. For businesses in the low-income communities, how that works, what is the language. We're going to see this. I know there's going to be a lot of conjecture about that EIDL grant language. I'm going to take my time before I read it. I don't want people to sort of jump to conclusions. And trust me, there have been people who have told people, I would say in a way in which I don't set myself up. There have been people who told people to apply for EIDL when they don't qualify, so that they're in first in line before someone else. I'm not going to tell you to do that. So you're not going to do that. PPP, there's another round of PPP, especially for businesses excluded for PPP before. Okay, for my SNAP viewers, because I do get these questions, you'll get 15% more on SNAP, which is great. It does not increase eligibility, but senior nutrition programs will get more money, which is great. Childcare. There's a lot of money for childcare. Again, for people of a certain economic level lower. Generally, these things, when I talk about economic level low, it's generally about $45,000 2019 earnings. So when I talk about rent, childcare, broadband, it's generally $49,000 or lower. There's a snowstorm in Virginia. Oh my goodness, be careful. We need sirloin mugs. Okay. I could make those actually very quickly. Rental assistance. So this is the provision that was a surprise. It's great. I don't like the way it's done, but it's there. So there's $25 billion in rent grants. Nancy has said you were going to apply to a federal agency to get the rent, and that the rent would be paid to the landlord. That's not the way this is being done. So the way it's being done is it's being given to your state and local, and then from the state and local, it's being disseminated out to you. What's important to understand is that there's a delay in that. I don't like that it's going to the state and local and then coming back to you. There's a delay in that. Um, and so that is not particularly as I would have liked. The eviction moratorium. This is a big one. The eviction moratorium. There were no's in the House as well. There were 55 no's in the House as well. The thing that they could have one no and be killed. Apparently, that's not happening the way they did this bill. The House had 60 no's or 80 no's. House had a lot of no's, and it still passed. The the eviction moratorium is not the way I wanted it to be done. I wanted just a normal eviction moratorium. You don't have to do anything. It's the CDC eviction moratorium. So that I made 1,000 recordings on this channel. I'll make more where you have to go and get the CDC form. You got to print it out. You have to fill it. You have to give it to the landlord. It's a whole thing. If you don't do it, you could be evicted. And so that's what's a big issue on the CDC eviction moratorium. It continues to January 31st. Joe is going to fix this. This is just, oh, it's just a mess. I don't like the way it's written. Transportation, big money for transportation, especially if you are not being paid enough, like motor coach, school bus, and ferry industry. And finally, if you're a Grubhub, Airbnb, Uber, small business owner, solo practitioner, plumber, electrician, guess what? You do get some nice little cute thing in here. Your meals are deductible for 2 years. Your business meals are deductible for 2 years. So out of a myriad of confusion, omitted things, and included things, business, even sole practitioners, your business meals are deductible for 2 years. That's what Trump gave you. So people always ask me, is Trump going to do executive order? No, Trump did not ultimately do your executive order, but he got you 2 years of business meals deducted, which dates back to the Reagan administration. Reagan had that for 10 years. Hey, 8 years your business meals were deducted. So the things that are not in the bill: adult dependents not getting a stimulus check, EIDL grants not for everyone else, FPUC not retroactive, of course, FPUC not $600, of course, no mortgage forbearance, really scary, no student loan debt moratorium, that's also really scary. My opinion on the two situations: Joe Biden's going to do it by executive order on day one. So you're gonna have 14 days or 20 days of panic, wondering what's going to happen from mortgage moratorium. Child support, it is taken out for child support, the stimulus check. And so there we are. Let me answer some of your questions now that you have about the situation. Was there money in for Israel? No, there was no money in there for Israel. I want a Big Mac Happy Meal now. Someone says, Ann says on the super in Instagram. What I miss? Oh, you missed the whole 7 months stimulus. You missed 7 months of Aubrey. I want a lobster every day then. If you get direct deposit last time, but you get SSDI now, what happens? That's fine. If they know where you were before and you're still there, you're fine. Do I ever sleep? I need more sleep. Alec, what I miss? Everything. Can you get rental assistance more than one time? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Just so long as it doesn't overlap. If someone gave you 1 month and someone else can give you more months. EIDL loan increase. The deadline is still tonight. Oh, I don't know. And I also don't know anyone that's getting an EIDL loan increase at all. Is the 300 retro? No. Unemployment, UI and PUA going forward. When does the 300 start? I think it starts today. I forgot. Is the rental assistance in the bill? It is. Hazard pay is in third stimulus. Has it been a vote? House has passed it, and then it will be approved tonight. I have ideas, says someone. Hazard pay for essential workers, third stimulus in January, third stimulus package, the new show on this channel. They should have rent assistance for people who rent a room. They should have a lot of stuff, and they just, when does the U300 start? Yeah, let me go over routing times. Routing times are very big issues. So let me go over each of the items and when you would get the money. Because I think when you're asking when does the 300 start, you're asking me when am I getting the $300, not when the. So let me go over all those items. The 300 will start presumably today, but when would you actually get the 300? So these are the things I want you to be prepared about. Your UI and your PUA and your FPUC may be delayed. There's countless reports, and I know it for a fact because I did UI PUA on day one back in April, where state unemployment computers are slow, they're old, they're antiquated, and they can't just push a button and change things in a second. And so what will happen is you may not see your UI, PUA, or FPUC in your bank account for several weeks or at least a month. I predict that the vast majority of the viewers of this channel may not see it until at least late January, but you may not see it until later after that. Of course, you won't answer. I didn't see the question, Jamie. I love when someone says he's not answering the question for a reason because I wish I could take a screen grab of what I'm looking at. It's literally like this. It's like he's not answering the question on purpose. Yeah, because it's going like this. And someone just sent me a super chat. I don't even know who it was. I wanted to say thank you. Yeah, he's answering. He's avoiding your question on purpose. Of course, I'm avoiding your question on purpose. Ah, you always answer good. So the PUA and the UI and the FPUC will be delayed. And my concern is you may not have that money or any money for a few weeks, and that is my concern. The stimulus check, 10 days from when it becomes law for electronic receipt, maybe add 3 days to it. That means you could get the check on New Year's Eve, maybe, but the vast majority will get it the first week of January or the second week of January. The rent, all these things, you're going to see me making new recordings on all these things. I'm going to have to figure out, what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear. But the rent, you will have to wait for it to go to the state, and then from the state to the county, and then from the county to the city. So the rent is going to just be, it won't be till February. I guarantee you. There's no way in how you're going to have that rent available to get until February. I would be shocked if they got it in January, but maybe they do. I would really, really, really be shocked. Anything else in here? The EIDL for grant for that is specialized. It's not for you. If you're new, if you're just joining the recording, it's only for minority communities and distressed areas. That could be live like tomorrow. Javita just has a button and she pushes the button, things go live like literally in 2 days. So she could have that available right away. The PPP could be available by the end of the week. They do PPP very quickly. We all know, boy, I don't know how many of you are in this room that saw me on the very first PPP recordings of April of this channel, but there were banks that didn't get PPP ready for months and months and months. So I don't know what's going to happen with those PPP banks this time around. And there you go. What other questions you have? Do we have to be behind on our bills to apply for assistance? That's a really good question. Basically, the rental assistance has very, very distinct language in it. But you have to have at least a past due rent. I believe the language. It's it requires an entire recording unto itself. I'm a sole practitioner. I'm a sole proprietor, not sole practitioner. Big difference. Same, but you still get the same coverage, whether we're talking about EIDL or PPP. Bernie voted no on the bill. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Trump said he will not veto the bill. Can I get an autograph? Sure. What kind of cookies do you like? Italian cookies. I don't think there's a single cookie I don't like. Yes, 2 days ago I bought macadamia nut cookies. Those are just incredible. Bernie's trying to block the bill. Schumer voted no. Schumer voted no? Schumer voted no? Wait a second. Schumer voted no? That's just a little crazy. Chuck Schumer voted no. Why would Schumer vote no? Your eye color is hazel. How do you get grants with a Schedule C? EIDL. Yeah, Schumer voted no. That's just crazy. What if you never received a check? Um, if you did not receive the first stimulus check, you might have been an adult dependent. EIDL question. Wow, the comments are zooming right now. I'm curious about the EIDL grants. My business started in first few weeks of 2020. I'm getting unemployment base. Can I get an EIDL grant too? So EIDL grants are not. Please tune in to third stimulus check and third stimulus package. There is no EIDL grant for the vast majority of any viewers of this channel in the second stimulus package. So I'm going to make that very clear again. And I just know there's I know how these things come out. You hear the EIDL grant, and then everyone's like, "Oh, give me that money, give me that money." This is generally not going to apply for 99% of the viewers of this channel. The EIDL grant of this package will not you will not qualify for 99% of the viewers of this channel. The EIDL grant of the third stimulus check and third stimulus package, yes. And to answer your question, yes, for the third stimulus check, you can get EIDL grant if you had your business when the pandemic hit. Family of five, still $2,400. Great question. Yes. Josh said yes. So Josh just folded like a chair. So do you like biscotti? I love biscotti. So if you have a family of 20, it's still $2,400. Child support, it is taken. The child stimulus check is taken out for child support. Not taken out for debt collections. To answer face it in the Instagram. Normally on Purple Live, I would answer. I would. Bernie didn't kill the bill. No one even voted it up yet. It's just the room is just disagreeing about everything. But anyway, normally on Purple Live, I would answer your questions about state stimulus, but we will leave that for tomorrow. If you have questions about state stimulus, you can of course watch Purple Purple taped earlier today. How much is the second stimulus check? 600. Hello, Sheffer. Is there? Wow, the questions are zooming. Is there any information on the U.S. territories like Guam and Samoa? They're the same as everyone else, so you would get the same protection. I am not a Leo. Um, Say my name, 83. Have you read the bill? I have read the bill. My address has changed. So all these things, my address has changed. How do I update it? It's too late. It's really too late. All these things about my bank account change, my address change, I'm going to be doing videos for you about all these things. These are very, very common questions. I'll be doing videos for you on these questions over the next few days. How do you do non-filer filing and this things? These things all need videos. And there you go. Who loves tiramisu? Everyone loves tiramisu. And with that, thank you for joining me for Purple Power Live. Congratulations. By the time this video is probably archived, you will have a law. It may take a little bit longer, but you will have a law. And tomorrow morning, we will see the impact of this on the nation. Finally, the last message I want to leave is not a positive message. It's the concern coming out of London. There's a new strain of the coronavirus. The new strain is very disconcerting because it is said to spread 70% stronger than the last strain. It's said to overtake the prior strain, and there's no knowledge yet about how to combat this new mutation of the virus. It caused Wall Street to panic and go down despite the positive news about the stimulus package today. It is very scary, and it could also suggest that that stimulus relief is needed to continue further forward than initially believed. There's also worries about whether the current vaccines are sufficient against this new strain of the virus, this new mutation. Very little is known about the new mutation of the virus. It is so confusing and so disconcerting that they've locked the borders in London, so shippers and truck drivers from neighboring countries are not being allowed in. And there's concerns that this new version of the virus is actually now in the United States. With that, thank you for joining me for the special recording. Congratulations on wearing purple. You've achieved a moment in U.S. history. I hope people will look back and see what Purple Power did in getting stimulus into a December continuing resolution bill. It was because of you that stimulus was even an issue this December. CR for stimulus. And it was because of you that a stimulus check was in the CR. Hashtag CR for stimulus, and later stimulus check or shutdown changed the entire scope of history. And I hope people look back and see the impact historically that this channel, me and you, did together. It's because of this, and that millions of people will have some money during this holiday season. Millions of people will have an eviction protection, and later thereafter, they will have unemployment benefits in their hands, and also money for food and rent. As always, have a great evening and see you tomorrow morning on Early Mornings LALATE.